Golden Globes. I mean, I can't even believe I'm in the entertainment industry. I can't. It's so unlikely. I'm from a small town in Indiana. I'm not a pedophile.
This is the United Uprising channel. Welcome to today's show. What you just saw is how they are normalizing that act that was mentioned. Because this whole psyop that just occurred with this list, where all these celebrities are on this list, yet no criminal action is taken. There's no talk of the police doing anything. There's no talk of the DOJ doing anything. There's nothing. There's just names that are leaked with no actual trials, no actual arrests, no actual investigations into these people. And that's exactly why they're putting all these names on the list. And they're letting you know of these names because they're normalizing this act. I've warned about it over the years. And you might say, that makes no sense how they're normalizing this act. Oh, no? When they tell you that people are guilty of a certain act and nothing is done, that's how they normalize it. When they tell you that all these people in this room, all of them popped up on a list that involve these acts with young people, yet they're all there. They're all there in their fancy dresses. They're all there in their lipstick looking like the ghouls that they are. They're all there drinking their champagne and eating their caviar, and nothing is being done to them. And that's the point. Because the more that this is out in the open and the less action is taken against them, the more normal it becomes. That's psychology 101. That's how we've gotten to the point we've gotten to in our society, is they bring these things out in the open and they continue to talk about it. They continue to show it. And then eventually they tell us that people are born a certain way. They tell us that they're born like this and it's normal. We need to accept it and love it. And eventually, if citizens don't rise up against these things, they become a normal, everyday part of life in our society. And that's where this is headed. So all these people who are on this list, just like Me Too, just like these other movements, they are perfectly fine with their names being on the list. They don't care that their names are on a list because it's never going to be addressed in the mainstream and civilians are never going to do anything about it. But eventually what's going to occur is these celebrities are going to talk about their preferences. And they're going to say that it's perfectly normal for them to have these preferences. In fact, some scientist or Freud or some person in history had written about this. Scholars had talked about this, and it's a perfectly normal behavior. And then the people out there will hear that. Of course, people like us will be in an uproar, but the younger generations will hear that, and they'll think that that's normal. And that's normal, and that's normal. And I've warned about it over the years. I've shown you, and I'm about to show you again, a compilation of clips. You have to understand how this works in our society, how we've gotten to this point. They've been desensitizing you and they've been putting children in adult positions without you even realizing why they're doing it. They've put children in all these shows like Dancing with the Stars, Baby Bachelor type of scenarios, cooking shows, things that adults are known to do, right? Nobody sees a child cooking a 5-course meal. But when you see a child cooking a 5-course meal and talking like an adult, when you see the child on shows like Modern Family talking to the parents as if the parents are the idiots and the children know more, this is how you subconsciously program people into looking at children as adults. And that's all been done by design. So while they've been doing that quietly over the last decade, and I've been warning about it, at the same time these leaks come out, people go, oh yeah, these people are on it. These people are on it. They yell, they get out of their system, but nothing gets accomplished. And the more that it's out in the open and the less, again, that civilians do anything about it, the more that this will become a normal thing in our culture that will never be stopped from happening. And that's why they're doing it, and that's why they're okay with letting you know this stuff. These are controlled leaks. And if people were paying attention over the last 20 years as to how they're putting children in adult roles, maybe we wouldn't be in the situation we're in. If we treated children as children, which is what they are, and you teach them and do all these things to help a child grow in their walk in life, instead of putting children in adult situations saying, that's really cute. Is it? You think it's cute because you're not really aware of what they're doing to you subconsciously. Look at this compilation of clips that I put together of all of these children, how they're behaving, how they're acting. Look at how they're speaking in these clips. They're adulting children, and they've been doing it right before your eyes with all these shows, these programs. They've programmed you into accepting what they're doing right now.
Hey, this is Jade.
And this is Tiffany. We ready to start the show?
Yup, she ready. What exactly do you do in your bowling ball cleaning business?
I ask Would you like your balls polished or clean?
I had that same job at about 22. Plan on getting married?
Let me live my life first, and then, yeah, maybe I'll think about that.
I have a girlfriend.
You think it's me? Oh, no. We just met, and he has not paid any of my bills. I need you to pretend you're me.
She ready?
She ready.
She ready.
You may have to do some extra things. Do you have a celebrity you admire?
Yes, I do.
Who?
You. Then God will be mad and forget to blend it in.
Gotta be mad at you if you forget to blend it in.
Coming this fall,
Y'all ready?
big laughs come in small packages.
Do you plan on getting married?
Marriage seems like a huge commitment.
Tiffany Haddish hosts Kids Say the Darndest Things, Sundays this fall on ABC.
Dancing with the Stars is about to get even smaller.
How are you?
Good.
12 of today's pocket-sized celebrities
My agent said, you want to be on Dancing with the Stars? And I was like, yeah.
Have you ever held hands with a girl before? Besides your sister?
Now, let's meet the cast of Dancing with the Stars Junior.
My name is Akasha Cody, and I am the youngest boy to ever compete at the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
What do you know about tango?
Tango, spelled T-A-N-G-O, is a ballroom dance of Latin American origin in 2/4 time.
Okay.
I am Hudson West. I play Jake Weber on General Hospital. 7 together, 8, cha-cha-cha, yeah! I am Jason Maybaum. I play Levi Grayson on the show Raven Something. When we have a live audience and the song pops on, I'm like, yeah!
Yes!
I'm like, I gotta get in, I gotta get there. I'm like, I can't stop myself.
I'm very big on creating a look that stands out the most. I draw most of my inspiration from punk rock, streetwear,
Glamorous. Luxury.
I really want to just take risks in this challenge. How old are you?
I'm 13. I'm the youngest here.
My design style is not the norm. I love it.
I work with Velvet quite often.
I'm underwhelmed.
It's not working.
Executed terribly.
You nailed it.
So happy.
Dear American Ninja Warrior, I think your show is so cool.
I think we should have a kids version.
Kids everywhere have been dreaming of getting their chance to take on the biggest course yet. For the first time ever, American Ninja Warrior Junior.
Now I'm a kid and I can actually go on American Ninja Warrior.
Do you feel like you belong?
I belong now.
What makes these kids so inspiring is they've overcome so much. It's about something bigger.
It's amazing to have other ninjas. I've made a ton of ninja friends.
And heart.
I'm running the course for my brother because he can't compete.
People I've never met screaming, go Sophia, go Sophia.
What about parents? Can they help bring these lessons to kids?
Absolutely. You know how you have time take the kids to soccer and everything else? Sometimes there's entrepreneurship time. And you should always, you know what, get them little digital books on entrepreneurship.
Well, that's a good idea. And watch Shark Tank too. Our kids love to do
Absolutely.
that. Before we meet our guests, let's take a look at how they got here. Meet brothers Sebastian and Brandon Martinez from Florida. Their company, Are You Kidding?
We love socks. My brother loves crazy socks. And one day, my mom asked him if he wanted to design a sock. And I came up with my cool ideas. These socks are cool for playing dancing, basketball, or just looking cool. Our mom helps us with all the hard work, like shipping and financing. We started last year and we made more than $15,000. Now we want to take this company and make it a brand.
Next up, Alina Morse from Michigan and her company, Zolly Pops.
I came up with Zolly Pops because I love sugar and candy. Sugar's terrible for my teeth. So I asked, why can't we make a healthy sucker that's good for your teeth? Then Zolly Pops were born. Last year, we made $70,000 in sales. My dad is my consultant in my business. I am the idea person. I come up with the designs of how we want our Zolly Pops and the packaging to look. My dream for our company is that every kid in America has a clean mouth, a healthy smile, and they have a Zolly Pop in their hand.
Welcome to MasterChef Junior. All between the age of 8 and 13 across all of America.
Welcome, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts!
We are firm but we're fair. So when they see us getting a little bit sort of dunked and messy and horrible and sticky, we become a little bit close to them. So they think that we're sort of their best friends. So they trust us more. So we get to push them more. Stunning lobsters.
Oh my God, they're alive.
Young lady, it's smooth as a baby's bum.
The season premiere of Baby Bachelor in Paradise.
First, there was the Baby Bachelor.
Hi, I'm Wesley, the baby Wesley.
Then the Baby Bachelorette.
I think my husband is in that limo.
And now we bring you
Welcome to paradise!
Baby Bachelor in Paradise.
Almost paradise. We're living on heaven's door. Almost paradise. How could we ask for more? I swear that I can see over in your eyes.
Welcome to Paradise, a serene utopia for small children whose parents, for some reason, had no problem with them doing this. From passionate playdates to canoodling in the kiddie pool, which babies would pair off or be sent napping?
I'm Kennedy and I'm 4 years old. I can't believe I'm in paradise.
His appearance on the Baby Bachelorette,
I'm Captain America.
Dylan has grown up a lot and now installs and repairs above-ground pools.
I like cars and fly fishing.
Meet Ethan, a wild child from the Baby Bachelorette who loves rocks and doesn't play by the rules.
Ethan,
Mama!
can you turn around?
Mama!
Here's Aiden, who's ready for fun.
Let's get this party started.
And Brendan, who's looking to make a fresh start.
I'm coming up for long-term relationship.
Alex recently got out of prison for setting fire to a meth lab.
I was a bad boy. But I'm here to be a good boy. Alex is so cute. I make bad decisions.
New arrival Maisie promises to bring the drama.
I'm Maisie and I'm crazy. I'm your bad boy. I know, leave me.
Maisie doesn't waste any time.
Hey, what's your name? Brendan. I'm Daisy.
Scare you to be in love, or are you just scared of her?
I'm just scared of.
You're just scared of her? Brendan, do you keep a lot of secrets?
No.
Brendan, do you have a child? This season, which babies will run off into the sunset and which will run home to mommy? Will Brendan wet himself when his estranged wife Charlie shows up?
Surprise, surprise.
Will Maisie get even crazier?
Get out here. He doesn't want.
So while he brings that up at the Golden Globes and while you watch all those clips, it's very important to note that all of these people in Hollywood are involved in this. But the problem is that people are getting herd into the psyops by the alt-right media. Because the alt-right media is going to gaslight you with these things and talk about these things. Then they're going to say, we need to get this investigated. We need to, and that's what they want. Because as long as you say those things and you say, we need to have these people investigated, we need to call the police, we need to do deep dives, we need to pretend that we're sleuths ourselves instead of doing actual action. Do you think 100 years ago, when we heard all these stories about witches and ropes and trees and all sorts of stuff, do you know why that was happening? It was happening because of this stuff. Because this is what they were doing with children, right? Citizens didn't wait for a trial. They had private justice. This wasn't allowed to exist in our society. They're psychologically normalizing this stuff, and they're gaslighting people into thinking that them knowing this is actually going to make a difference about it. It's not. It's not going to make a difference. This whole leak is a controlled thing. It also gets you to look at the island and all these people involved in the island and completely get your attention pulled away from other stuff where this stuff's really happening. Everybody's attention is just constantly on this little island as if that's where the events really occurred. They created the island as a diversionary tactic for you, to give you a little taste of truth so that you don't investigate anything else that's actually real, whether it's that pizza parlor in Washington, D.C., or all these other places underground that the majority of us have covered and exposed over the years, only to be replaced, of course, hundreds of thousands of people listening every day, only to be replaced by the alt-right media. Who's there to gatekeep you? Who's there to tell you that, well, the DOJ and all these people, they'll investigate them, right? Just like Dr. F. Remember that guy, the doctor? How many times he stood in front of the Supreme Court or whoever in Congress, and they go up there and they say, you lied about this, you lied about that, you forced that on American people, you made people lose their jobs, et cetera, et cetera. What happens to them? Nothing. They're untouchable. The trials, the appearances in court, the lists being leaked, it's all a dog and pony show. And at the end of the day, when nothing occurs, it just makes it more normal. Because when you become desensitized to these types of acts, when you start realizing they actually do occur, and then you don't do anything about it, and civilians don't do anything about it, it becomes a part of our day-to-day life. 5 years from now, this stuff is going to be normalized. It's going to be fully normalized because they're already telling you that children can castrate themselves and do these things to themselves, and everyone's like, that's crazy. Yeah. Everything over time loses its, the sensitivity you have to it. It loses its, its effect on you, right? Like, for example, look at even phones when they first came out. Flip phones, whatever you had. People were like, I don't want this. I don't need this. Now people can't live without it, right? How about all of these people, these prideful people, when they first started getting pushed and pushed and pushed? Now look where we're at, where they're telling you to castrate. I'm telling you, by 2030, the stories are going to be more about children who are smarter than their parents because they programmed you this. TV shows like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? All this stuff has been done by design psychologically. You don't realize they've been programming you over and over, your perception of these things. This is what they've been doing to all of us. So the leak of the list is just getting people to yell and scream at the cloud and to go, get them in Congress, do something about it. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. It wears out. They wear out by screaming about it. They get out of their system. Nothing ends up getting done. Now, if people are going to sit here and listen, they're going to say, well, you're calling for them to do violence or do this stuff. This is the society we live in now. You see, we've let them set up this structure of right from wrong as far as, how to handle criminals, et cetera, et cetera. And it couldn't be more further from what should actually occur. You see, people who do these things don't even deserve a trial. If you're caught doing one of these acts with a child, you don't deserve a trial. You don't. There's no trial to be had. There's no explanation about mental health. There's none of it. You just end it quickly. You take care of it, and you get that person out of society because they're a threat, not only to children, but a threat to the actual culture and the society itself, right? Those are the ways that things used to get handled. Now they don't get handled like that anymore. And they know by talking about these things that you're just going to ask for the DOJ and all these things. And then Donald Trump's going to come in. He's going to talk about it so that people get more amped up and supporting of him. Donald Trump's actually bringing attention to it. One of them's bringing it, all done by design to herd you and to desensitize you into normalizing this stuff and never any action being taken against it. Trump was supposed to drain the swamp in 2016 when we all exposed that other thing that was going on at that pizzeria, right? That was what we heard about. We're going to drain the swamp. And still those same people 7 years later actually think something's going to get done. And what is the difference? Well, 7 years ago, people were in an uproar about it. Now, it's just part of normal society, that pizza, parlor place and all the people involved. We just mention them. They get mentioned. Nothing ever happens. And it just goes on and on and on. These people are untouchable in this society. And they're protected as well by the people who worship them because they'll never allow you to do something to them, right? And those people eventually are going to come out and talk about these stories and tell you how it's a normal thing. And that you shouldn't judge somebody who does that. Love is love. Do you see where we're headed with all this stuff? I've been talking about it for a long time. So him cracking a joke about it, everybody out there's like, can you believe he cracked the joke? It's not the first time. Ricky Gervais, whatever his name is, cracked the joke a few years ago. All done by design. This stuff's all written out for them beforehand. You think he went out there and he said that without them knowing he was going to say it? They could have beeped it out if they wanted to. Right? It's a 10-second time delay. They could have just cut the joke. They want it out there. This is how they normalize this stuff and desensitize you to it. It's all psychological. At the end of the day, they know the civilians are never going to rise up against this. And they know by telling you this stuff, all it really does is normalize this type of behavior in our culture instead of ending this type of behavior in our culture. Pray for all the children out there because every single day that this stuff is talked about and nothing is done, every single day, more and more of these children are victimized by satanic covens and satanic cults. You never hear about that aspect of it as well. I've talked about it. I was just looking at some of the videos that I've done in the past that I'm uploading over on uprisingrevival.com where I talk about all these children, the covens, how they never, I was talking about 6, 7, 8 years ago, how they never, ever talk about the connection to satanic teachings and covens and that stuff. They never talk about it. So what do you think? All these people in Hollywood just have this certain perversion? Nobody thinks any further than that? Well, how come they're all famous and they all have this perversion? Huh? Oh, well, do you know about satanic rituals? Do you know about the devil and devil worship? Because if people started realizing about that stuff, they would start dismissing things like atheism. They start dismissing, and looking at our government and how it's set up to protect these people, right? A mass awakening would occur if people tied Satanism into these rituals or these events that occur, instead of just saying, it's these Democrats, it's these libs, they love it, they're sick, right? It's a satanic society that we're living in that's been normalized by these Satanists in power. I wanted to cover that for everybody out there. I hope everyone's doing well. It's very, very disheartening seeing these things and knowing where we're heading, but I wanted to put something together so you could see this for yourself and realize psychologically, this is a psychological war on you. It's a psychological war on all of us. And if you step back and you see how they program you and you see how they subtly do these things, you realize how we've gotten to a point where we actually have citizens talking about castrating their own children, about how your children should be taken out of your home if you're unwilling to castrate your 5-year-old who suddenly wants to play dress up for 5 minutes and put on a dress or something, and then they say, oh, that's your boy's really a girl, etc. You should castrate him. It's insanity. And they're normalizing it day in and day out, and nothing's being done about it. I thank you all for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you and your families.